Can you pronounce all 5 of these words correctly? Most beginners can't. And it's because of the 5 tiny marks on top of each of the words. Today, I will show you all 5 French accents and how each one of them changes the way you read French. Let's start with the one you see almost everywhere. The acute accent, as it is said in French, l'accent aigu. If you learn only one French accent today, this one should be it. L'accent aigu. It appears only on E and it makes the sound E. For example, we have café, école, étudiant, and you can call it the glider. Can you pronounce these 3 words? This accent is mostly with E, A, and U. It only appears with them. Now here is the accent that confuses everyone. Now when it is on top of E, the l'accent aigu, it opens the sound. So we get E instead of A, E. So it goes down. A usually does not change its sound when it has the accent. It just changes meaning. And U is used to distinguish between 2 different words. For E, we have pe, me. But for A, we have a also, but that a now means there, at, not the usual a. Then for U, we have u, which is where are you going, instead of the normal u, which means or. So what is the difference between u and u? Now you know this accent doesn't always change pronunciation, but it can also change the meaning of words. For example, in a and u. Can you guess which accent stands as a heart on top of letters? That is the circumflex. The accent with the heart hides a fascinating secret. One, it reflects the history of a word, and sometimes it affects the pronunciation, and sometimes it simply reserves spelling. For example, we have forêt. Forêt. This is a historical word that used to have S after E, but now it no longer has that. So the heart is showing us history. Also in the word hôpital. Hôpital also has S, but now there is no longer an S, so we are preserving history. Then we have fête, âge, preserving history. Can you spot the circumflex before I do? Can you recognize this accent? This tiny curl changes the entire sound of one letter, and this is the letter C. Usually the letter C sounds like K or S. It only sounds like K when it's appearing before A, O, and U, and it sounds like S when it is appearing before I, E, Y. But now it is going to sound like S when it is appearing before A because of this tiny curl beneath it. Example, we have garçon, français, leçon. Without the sedalia, which is beneath the C, what do you think that garçon will sound like? Garçon? One tiny mark that completely changes the entire pronunciation is this mark, the diaresis. This is the accent many beginners never learn, and this is because it is pretty difficult to understand. The diaresis, what it does is to ensure that every vowel has their own voice. For example, in this word, which means Christmas, it ensures that O retains the sound and L retains the sound. In the diaresis, E sounds L, so we have Noel, Noel. And in this other word, it is pronounced naif, naif. So we have A retaining its accent, if, E retaining its E sounds. What will happen if these vowels were to be blended together? We have nif. It's pretty sweet. Now you know what these words are pronounced in separate syllables. So tell me, can you pronounce these words? Yes, that is correct. Café, forêt, garçon, Noël, ou. There is a reminder of how you should pronounce each of these words and remember the accents on top of them. The accent aigu, which goes to the right. It tells you that I am a guide. I tell you exactly how to pronounce me, and it is A. Now the E with the accent going this way, which is the grave accent, it tells you I am an opener. I am an opener. I make your mouth open a little more. Now the circumflex, which is the heart, it tells you that I am an historian. I am the historian. I remind you of letters that disappeared long ago. And the next one we have the Sidelia, which is the comma beneath the C. It tells you I am the protector. I stop C from making the wrong sound. Now diaresis, which is the two dots, it is the separator. It says I am the separator. I help every vowel retain their sound. Today you've learned all the 5 French accents. From now on, when you see one of these tiny marks, you will know exactly what it is trying to tell you. If this lesson helped you to understand French a little more better, subscribe to Oliver Academy, and I'll see you in my next video.